Good afternoon. Welcome to the City of Cleveland Heights. I'm very proud to be here today with the Ohio Environmental Council to accept the grant. So I'm going to turn it over to Dave. Dave Celebrezze. Dave, welcome.
Thanks, Mayor. Good afternoon. My name is Dave Celebrezze. I'm with the Ohio Environmental Council. I'm the Director of Air and Water Special Projects. And I'm here today because we want to celebrate the good works that Cleveland Heights, the City of Cleveland, and Parma Heights are doing to clean up diesel emission pollution. But first, why do we need to clean up diesel fleets? They're long-lived pieces of machinery. They transport our kids to school. They transport us to work on time, most of the time. They also clean our streets. They remove the snow, and they move goods throughout the country. However, diesel emissions have a dark, sooty side. Because they are long-lived, they contribute to a poor air quality. In fact, even just coming up here on a day like today, or maybe when you're going home, you have the windows down, and you get stuck behind a diesel truck, or maybe it's a diesel semi, some type of diesel vehicle. And you know that sometimes you want to slow down to let that plume of black smoke dissipate before you run into it with your car, or maybe if you're walking or riding a bike. Or maybe you speed up in order to get around it, just so you're not breathing in those fumes. But one thing is for certain, those fumes we breathe are toxic. And in fact, diesel exhaust has 40 known toxics in it. Diesel emission, they emit something called particulate matter. Particulate matter 2.5, and this is a very simplistic diagram of what it looks like. With this PM 2.5, it's 2.5 micrometers in diameter. To put that in real-world terms, if you will, it's about 1/70th the width of a human hair. So when we breathe it in, it bypasses our body's natural defense systems, and it gets lodged in our lungs or travels into our bloodstream. Medical researchers have linked diesel exhaust to dizziness, asthma attacks, painful breathing, heart and lung disease, and even early death. In fact, there's a study by a national group called the Clean Air Task Force that revealed in Cuyahoga County, where we are today, the average lifetime diesel soot cancer risk is 395 times greater than the US EPA's acceptable cancer level of 1 in a million. Economically, we take a hit too. Diesels contribute to Cuyahoga County and other counties in the state that are failing federal air quality standards. If we don't clean up this problem, we could face economic consequences such as the government withholding money from the state. And I would be remiss, since I am with the Ohio Environmental Council and consider myself an advocate for the environment, that I spend just a minute to tell you a little bit about the environmental effects. With climate change happening, diesel pollution actually contributes to that because it emits something called black carbon. Early studies have revealed that black carbon is about 680 times more potent greenhouse gas emission than carbon dioxide. But I'm not here to spread doom and gloom. This is a celebration, right? And the good news is there are solutions to diesel pollution. By implementing the 6 R's of diesel fleet cleanup, we're improving our air, our economy, our health. Those 6 R's include refueling with cleaner fuels, repowering with lower emission engines, replacing older vehicles with newer vehicles, rebuilding or repairing existing fleets, reducing idling, unnecessarily idling that is, and retrofit with emission controls, which we actually have an emission control device here, as well as 2 gentlemen from International, Patrick Mackey and Joe Norgrove. But these emission controls, a diesel oxidation catalyst, that's what this is, reduces emissions up to 30%. There's also something called a diesel particulate filter, which reduces the emissions by up to 90%. And these things work. To help these cities, Cleveland, Cleveland Heights, Parma Heights, green their fleet, the OEC, that is the Ohio Environmental Council, received money from it's called a supplemental environmental project. In a consent decree between the United States, State of Ohio, and Supreme Court, the Lima refinery agreed to give OEC money for the installation of diesel pollution controls to reduce particle pollution and ozone precursors from municipal trucks and buses. This decree is a result of the US EPA and the Ohio EPA identifying violations of certain provisions of the Clean Air Act by Supreme Court. So as we will hear in a minute, these cities are proactive in greening their fleets. However, they cannot do it alone. the state of Ohio has a responsibility. The Ohio Diesel Emission Reduction Grant Program is set to end this June, and Ohio Environmental Council calls on the state to do right, to fund this program to $30 million over the next 2 years. Additionally, at the federal stage, Congress can authorize the diesel emission reduction program to $200 million a year for the next 3 years. These programs will help us reach air standards and improve our quality of life. Now I'd like to turn it over. I'd like to have Cleveland Heights, the mayor, and Alex, and Andre, and I would like to present you with a check for $5,000. We also have the City of Cleveland, Andrew Watterson and Bill Edgar, who are with the City of Cleveland. I'd like to present them a check for $14,000.
Thank you. On behalf of Mayor Frank G. Jackson, I'd like to thank Ohio Environmental Council for the check to help support our efforts in greening City of Cleveland's fleet. This money will be used for diesel retrofits to reduce our particulate emissions on our diesel vehicles. This is part of our opportunity to help improve service for the City of Cleveland residents and improve the quality of our communities. The City of Cleveland has been launching a pretty aggressive campaign of greening our fleet. We now have over 60 hybrid vehicles. We are piloting a biodiesel pilot project this fall with 20% biodiesel with our fleet. We also switched over our entire fleet to ultra-low sulfur diesel, continuing to improve the quality of our fleet and reducing the emissions from our operations. The OEC has been a great support to the City of Cleveland in our environmental efforts. They have been a great sounding board for us and also helping to improve not only our emissions in our fleet, but also helping to improve the quality of life for City of Cleveland residents and Ohio in general. So we'd like to thank Ohio Environmental Council, and we look forward to working with you on future projects, especially in regard to our fleet. Thank you.
I would like to present a check to the City of Parma Heights, Joe Sebes.
On behalf of Mayor Martin K. Zanotti, Parma Heights City Council, and over 21,000 residents, I am honored to accept a gift from the Ohio Environmental Council to purchase, these monies will be used to purchase diesel oxidation catalysts. 2 one-ton, 6.5-liter diesel dump trucks will be outfitted with this equipment. During this past year, through the efforts of retrofitted-celebrezze of the Ohio Environmental Council, the City of Parma Heights has been educated on the devastating effects of diesel particulate matter in the air we breathe and ways to eliminate up to 90% of that pollution. As a direct result of that knowledge, Mayor Zanotti felt compelled to issue an executive order to create a no-idle policy for the city. Recently, Parma Heights, in a collaborative effort, worked with the Ohio Environmental Council in applying for an EPA Region 5 diesel emission grant. If we are successful, the city's on-road heavy-duty diesel trucks, 9 vehicles, will be outfitted with diesel particulate filters, which eliminate 90% of the diesel emissions. This is basically our entire heavy-duty fleet. If not for the Ohio Environmental Council's assistance, especially that of retrofitted-celebrezze, the city could not afford to purchase and outfit these trucks with this vital equipment that minimizes air pollution, thereby protecting the health of our residents and reduces rough idling on city equipment, thus saving fuel and wear and tear on that equipment. Many thanks to the Ohio Environmental Council and Representative retrofitted-celebrezze for your commitment, passion, and hard work. We couldn't do this on our own. Also, special thanks to Joe Norgrove of Power City International for his invaluable knowledge of diesel retrofits and advice for proper installation, and to Parma Heights resident Tony Temple for bringing this program to our attention. Last but not least, I want to thank our Service Director, Joe Tal, and his Service Department Head Mechanic, Bob Toller. I drove him crazy for a while working with Dave, and I just want to thank them all. And once again, hats off to the Ohio Environmental Council. Thank you for making Parma Heights a greener place for us.
So as we have heard, there are great things being done to clean up our air quality, and we will achieve those air quality standards. It might take a little bit of time, but together, working together, we could achieve that. So with that, we'll be available for questions, and thank you.